What if I told you that right now, at this exact moment, two Canadians are standing outside. One is enjoying plus 13 degrees Celsius in shorts, while the other is battling minus 32 degrees with exposed skin freezing in under 3 minutes. A 45-degree temperature difference. Same country, same evening. This is not a climate change prediction. This is happening right now, February 5th, 2026, and if you live anywhere in Canada, the next 12 hours could be the most dangerous of your winter. But here is what nobody is telling you about tonight's weather, and I promise you, by the 30-second mark, you will know exactly when this cold snap hits your neighborhood, because timing is everything. Here is your reward for the next 30 seconds. In exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds, I will reveal the 3 specific time windows tonight when frostbite risk jumps from low to critical in Ontario, Quebec, and the prairies. But first, you need to understand what is actually happening in our atmosphere right now, because this is not your typical February cold. Toronto, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, minus 5 Celsius. Sounds manageable, right? Wrong. Wind chill minus 12. That is the difference between uncomfortable and dangerous. And here is the shocking part. Between now and midnight, temperatures will drop another 5 degrees. That means by the time you are getting ready for bed tonight, we are looking at minus 10 Celsius, wind chill minus 17. At those levels, exposed skin begins to freeze in 10 to 15 minutes. But wait, what about that snow everyone keeps asking about? 60% chance of light snow starting at 11 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, continuing until 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not a blizzard, but enough to create black ice on every major highway from the 401 to the 409. The real danger window? Midnight to 3 a.m. when temperatures drop below minus 7 and that light snow flash freezes on contact. Now I know what you are thinking. When does this hit my area? Keep watching, because at the 5-minute mark, I am delivering on my promise with specific timing for every major Canadian city. But here is something that will blow your mind. While Toronto freezes, Vancouver right now is sitting at plus 13 degrees. 13 degrees above freezing. That is warmer than some spring days. Montreal. Same story as Toronto, but worse. Minus 4 to minus 6 Celsius, but that St. Lawrence River humidity makes it feel like minus 9 to minus 11. The wind chill tonight in Montreal will hit minus 15 by midnight. What does that mean practically? Your car might not start tomorrow morning. Your pipes could freeze if you are not careful, and if you are walking home from the metro after 9 p.m., you need to be bundled up completely. No exposed skin, because frostbite can set in within 8 to 10 minutes at those wind chill levels. Here is a number that should wake you up. 22 minutes. That is how long you can safely stay outside in minus 15-degree wind chill before risking hypothermia. Montreal hits that threshold at 11:30 p.m. tonight. Ottawa is colder. Minus 7 this evening, dropping to minus 10 by midnight. But here is the twist nobody saw coming. The Rideau Canal is completely frozen and open for skating, but with tonight's conditions bringing light snow and winds gusting to 30 kilometers per hour, skating may be suspended by 10 p.m. for safety. If you were planning a romantic evening skate, your window closes in less than 3 hours from now. Halifax. Plus or minus 0 degrees Celsius. Sounds mild compared to inland cities, but that ocean humidity is brutal. Winds at 30 to 40 kilometers per hour, creating that bone-chilling, penetrating cold that goes right through your heaviest coat. The real story in Halifax tonight is not the temperature, it is the wind. Sustained winds of 35 kilometers per hour, gusting to 50. That is strong enough to knock over unsecured garbage cans, rip down small tree branches, and make walking in a straight line genuinely difficult. Fishermen, listen carefully. Halifax Harbor is under advisory. No vessels should leave port between now and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. High seas, limited visibility, wind gusts exceeding 50 kilometers per hour. This is not a suggestion. This is a safety mandate. St. John S., Newfoundland. Here is where weather gets weird. Minus 1 to plus 1 Celsius, but with 50 kilometer per hour winds, wind chill drops to minus 6 to minus 8. And here is the kicker. Within the next 2 hours between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Newfoundland time, conditions could shift from cloudy to freezing rain to snow and back to rain. That is 3 different precipitation types in 120 minutes. If you are driving on the Trans-Canada Highway near St. John S. tonight, your visibility could go from clear to near zero in under 10 minutes. No warning. That is how fast weather changes on the rock. Now we hit the prairies, and this is where tonight's forecast turns from serious to potentially life-threatening. Winnipeg, right now, minus 15 Celsius. Wind chill minus 22. Overnight low minus 20 Celsius. Wind chill minus 25. Let me put that in perspective for you. At minus 25 wind chill, exposed skin freezes in under 5 minutes. Your car may not start even with a block heater, and if you break down on the highway, you have maybe 20 minutes before hypothermia becomes a real concern. Manitoba Public Health has opened emergency warming centers across Winnipeg. 12 locations, open now through 8 a.m. tomorrow. If you are homeless, if your heat is not working, if you cannot afford to heat your home properly, these centers are free, no questions asked. Locations include the Main Street Project, Siloam Mission, and the Magnus Eliasson Recreation Center. Write those down, share them. This information saves lives. Regina and Saskatoon, minus 12 to minus 16 Celsius. Wind chill, minus 20 to minus 24. Saskatchewan has no mountains, no forests, nothing to break that Arctic wind. It just sweeps across the flat prairie unimpeded. Farmers, you need to check your livestock now, not later. Cattle, horses, chickens, they all need adequate shelter and extra feed tonight because these temperatures can kill within hours. Here is your 5-minute promise delivered. The 3 critical time windows tonight for extreme cold danger. Window 1, Eastern Canada, Ontario, and Quebec. 11 p.m. tonight through 3 a.m. tomorrow. Peak danger period. Wind chill values bottom out. Roads become most treacherous. Window 2, Manitoba and Saskatchewan, 9 p.m. tonight through 7 a.m. tomorrow. 10 hours of dangerous, sustained cold. Window 3, Northern Territories, all night. No safe outdoor exposure windows. Calgary, minus 8 this evening, minus 12 overnight. Now, Calgary usually has those Chinook winds that can warm things up 15 degrees in a few hours. The bad news? No Chinook expected in the next 72 hours. You are stuck with this cold through the weekend. But here is something interesting. Calgary's elevation and dry climate mean that minus 12 in Calgary feels different than minus 12 in Montreal. Less penetrating, less humid, but still cold enough to require full winter gear. Edmonton, minus 10 now, minus 14 to minus 15 overnight. Wind chill, minus 18 to minus 20. But Edmonton has that incredible underground pedway system connecting downtown buildings. If you work downtown, you can park, go to the office, grab lunch, hit the bank, and return to your car without stepping outside once. That is urban planning designed for survival. And now, the moment some of you have been waiting for. Vancouver, the great Canadian weather anomaly, plus 13 Celsius this evening, dropping to plus 6 overnight. While Winnipeg is at minus 15, Vancouver is 13 degrees above freezing. That is a 28-degree temperature difference between 2 Canadian cities at the same moment. Clear skies, light winds, pleasant evening for walking along the seawall. Vancouver, you won the weather lottery tonight. Enjoy it because by Saturday, rain returns. Victoria, just across the water from Vancouver, is even milder. Plus 14 Celsius this evening, plus 7 overnight. Clear skies, calm winds. This is winter. This is why people pay $2 million for a one-bedroom condo in Victoria. Climate is everything. But here is what is really fascinating. Kelowna, interior British Columbia, minus 2 Celsius. That is 16 degrees colder than Vancouver, just a few hundred kilometers away. Why? Mountains. The coast mountains block that Pacific Ocean influence, and once you cross over into the interior, you get real winter. Kelowna tonight will drop to minus 5 to minus 6, but with clear skies and no wind, it will feel crisp and clean, not brutal. Now we go north, where weather becomes survival. Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, minus 28 Celsius right now. Wind chill, minus 35 to minus 38. At these temperatures, exposed skin freezes in under 2 minutes. Not 5 minutes, not 3 minutes, 2 minutes. If you go outside to start your car and your glove falls off, you have 120 seconds to get back inside before frostbite begins. Yellowknife residents know the protocols. No outdoor time exceeding 10 minutes unless absolutely essential. Cover every square inch of skin. Face masks, goggles, double gloves, insulated boots rated to minus 40. And always, always have a backup plan. If your car breaks down, do you have emergency blankets, extra food, a way to call for help? These are not suggestions in the north. These are life or death decisions. Iqaluit, Nunavut, minus 32 Celsius, wind chill minus 42 to minus 45. The sun rose at 9:47 a.m. today and set at 2:33 p.m., less than 5 hours of daylight. And at minus 42 wind chill, the cold is not just uncomfortable, it is hostile. It is an active threat. You cannot expose skin. You cannot make mistakes. You cannot assume your truck will start or your phone battery will last. But here is something remarkable. The Inuit have lived in these conditions for thousands of years. They have traditional knowledge about reading ice, predicting storms, and surviving that no meteorologist can match. However, even longtime residents are noticing changes. Winter patterns shifting, ice forming later, temperatures fluctuating in ways that do not match traditional knowledge. Climate change is not a future concern in the Arctic. It is happening now in real time, and it is disrupting survival strategies perfected over millennia. Whitehorse, Yukon, minus 18 this evening, minus 23 to minus 25 overnight. But here is your silver lining. Clear skies tonight means one of the best aurora borealis displays of the winter. The northern lights could be spectacular between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. Yukon time. Yes, you will freeze watching them, but some things are worth the cold. Let me give you the national picture in one sentence. Right now, February 5th, 2026, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Canada is experiencing 45 degrees of temperature variation from coast to coast, with conditions ranging from pleasant spring evening to life-threatening Arctic cold. Travel advisories. If you are flying Toronto to Vancouver tonight, expect minor delays due to light snow in Toronto, but nothing serious. Departures between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. may see delays of 30 to 60 minutes. Check with your airline before heading to Pearson. Flights to northern destinations, Yellowknife, Iqaluit, Whitehorse, these can be canceled on short notice due to extreme weather. Always have a backup plan. Driving long distance tonight, police and transportation authorities across Ontario, Quebec, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan are advising against non-essential travel. Translation? Unless it is an emergency, stay home. Roads will be snow-covered, icy, visibility limited. And if you break down in minus 20-degree weather, you are in immediate danger. If you must drive, full gas tank, emergency kit with blankets, water, food, flashlights, and a fully charged phone. Do not attempt long-distance travel with half a tank of gas. That is how people die. Public health warnings. Hospitals across eastern and central Canada are on alert for cold-related emergencies. Frostbite, hypothermia, slips and falls on ice, and cardiovascular events. Cold weather forces your heart to work harder, which can trigger heart attacks in people with underlying conditions. Seniors and those with heart disease limit outdoor exposure tonight. This is serious. Energy grid update. Hydro One in Ontario and Hydro Quebec report high electricity demand due to heating needs. Emergency crews are on standby for potential outages from ice on power lines. So far, no widespread outages reported, but if you lose power tonight, do not wait. Call immediately. In minus 10-degree weather, your home can become dangerously cold within 2 hours without heat. Ski conditions. This is actually good news for winter sports enthusiasts. Whistler Blackcomb is reporting outstanding powder conditions, deep, fresh snow. If you are on the West Coast, this is your weekend. However, eastern ski hills may see temporary closures due to extreme cold and high winds. Blue Mountain in Ontario, Mount Tremblant in Quebec, check before you drive. Wind chill below minus 20 often triggers safety closures. Here is something nobody is talking about. Aurora activity tonight. Clear skies across western and northern Canada mean excellent viewing conditions for the northern lights. Best viewing between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. across Alberta, Saskatchewan, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Mars is also in prime viewing position in the eastern sky after sunset. Orion constellation is prominent in the southern sky all night. But dress warm. Standing outside, stargazing in minus 20-degree weather requires serious insulation. Let me bring this back to what matters most, your safety tonight. If you live in eastern or central Canada, Ontario, Quebec, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, the next 12 hours are your highest risk period. Between 11 p.m. tonight and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we are looking at the coldest wind chill values of this winter so far. Dress in layers. Cover your head, ears, hands, and feet completely. Minimize time outdoors. And check on vulnerable neighbors. Seniors living alone, families struggling to pay heating bills, homeless individuals. One check-in call could save a life. For those of you in Vancouver, Victoria, and coastal British Columbia, enjoy tonight because rain returns Saturday afternoon and continues through Sunday. We are talking steady, soaking rain. 5 to 10 millimeters Saturday, another 10 to 15 millimeters Sunday. Not dangerous, just wet and gray. Northern Canada, Yellowknife, Iqaluit, Whitehorse, you are in this deep freeze for at least the next 72 hours. No warm-up expected until Tuesday at the earliest. Continue extreme cold protocols, limit outdoor exposure, and maintain emergency supplies. The 7-day outlook. Eastern and central Canada stay cold through the weekend. Temperatures begin moderating early next week, with Tuesday potentially bringing the first above zero reading since last Wednesday. That is 6 straight days below freezing. Western Canada stays mild, rain on the coast, cold, but dry in the interior. Northern Territories, deep freeze continues with no relief in sight. One final number to leave you with, 10 minutes. That is the maximum safe outdoor exposure time tonight across most of Eastern and Central Canada before frostbite risk becomes significant. 10 minutes to walk the dog, 10 minutes to scrape your windshield and warm up the car, 10 minutes to shovel the driveway. That is your window. Respect it. So where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city in the comments right now, and I will give you specific timing for when conditions in your area peak tonight. Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, Vancouver, tell me where you are, and let us make sure you have the exact information you need to stay safe. And here is what is coming next. Tomorrow morning, as forecast, will reveal something unexpected, a weather system forming over the Pacific that could bring major changes to Western Canada by midweek. I am talking potential temperature swings of 15 to 20 degrees in under 24 hours. If you live in Alberta or British Columbia, you need to see tomorrow morning's update. Trust me, this is not typical February weather. Stay warm, stay safe, and remember, weather is not just data and numbers. It is real conditions affecting real people right now. Dress appropriately, plan ahead, and look out for each other. That is how we get through Canadian winter together. I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern for the next critical update. Until